All new in our next hour, taking your deck from drab to fab. Jeff Wilson from HGVT will be joining us live in the studio with a few easy ways to improve your deck this summer.
You're watching 7 Action News.
Well, if you've been meaning to fix up your deck for a while now, but just haven't figured out the right way to do it, we've got you covered this morning. Joining us now is Jeff Wilson from HGVT and host of a show called Build a Deck. I feel like I'm overdressed for this, Jeff. Congratulations on all the success. You're a local boy. Tell us quickly about where you're from and your connection to the area.
I grew up between Plymouth and Ann Arbor out in the country. I went to Gear School, which is a little one-room schoolhouse out there when I was a kid. Now closed, but yeah, grew up in the country. Yeah, this is the time of year, though, that you think about, you know, fixing up the deck for that entertaining season that's coming, right?
Taking decks from drab to fab, right?
People tell me all the time, they ask me all the time, is it time to treat my deck? It looks pretty good, but we tell them to do the splash test. We take a little water.
What's the splash test?
Well, the splash test is to figure out whether or not it's time to treat your deck. So
show us right now.
What we're going to do is I go outside, I say, pour a little water on your deck, and in a place where it's heavily traveled.
So you just pour some water on a piece of board.
If the water soaks in like this and darkens the wood quickly, then you know that it's not being protected from water, from rain and things like that, and it's time to retreat. Most important part of retreating a deck is to clean it first with an off-the-shelf cleaner. I use a pump-up garden sprayer, a brush on a pole, save your back, right? And you spray the cleaner on, maybe a 10 by 10 area, let it work for 5 or 10 minutes, and then brush it with a brush a little bit and rinse it off really well.
Okay.
Usually you have to wait 48 hours for the deck to dry, and then you want to treat it. In this case, you can pick a clear waterproofer, a tinted waterproofer, or a semi-transparent or solid stain. Now, the more pigment that's in a stain, the longer it will last on the deck, so longer between treating.
Okay.
So if you want to use a solid stain, it might last 5-6 years between treatments, and it adds more color to the to the deck as well. And then you just basically apply the stain, and you're done. And that, like I said, in the case of a solid stain, maybe 5 years. In the case of a semi-transparent stain, maybe 3-4 years. Clear might last a year or 2.
I'll keep that deck looking pretty darn nice, especially in our time here, because we spend a lot of time in the summer outside.
Well, and it's an investment, right? So if you treat your deck every few years, then you're sure not to have to replace it early.
And how did you get started in all this?
Oh, well, you know what? My family built the house out there on Joy Road when I was a kid. My dad basically taught me how to build, and it's funny, I have a music degree, which kept my construction skills, up to date, right?
Jeff Wilson with HGTV. We appreciate it. Thanks for the time. I can only imagine how good your deck looks at home.
It looks okay. Yeah.